So, another thing is, people, when they see me, people obviously think it's drink, drugs, or just think I'm absolutely crazy anyway. But no, it's got nothing to do with that. No one actually knows what's actually fucking been going on for me for quite a while. And that's only because I can't explain the brutal pain what I suffer on a fucking daily basis. It's a pain where you don't want to live no more. You don't even want to open your eyes. Obviously, I'll take medication, which is a Class B controlled drug, which is dexamphetamine. That's the only thing that keeps me going, because it takes the emotion away. But when it's your own daughters, and it's your own daughters who's been brutally hurt, and that's certain things happen to them, what sort of emotion is that? How do you get on with life? How do you stop it from running around in your head? How do you stop yourself from going to fucking sick insanity? There's not a day that goes by I don't cry. It just comes and goes all the time, constantly in tears, because you just, at the end of the day, it should be me what should be being abused, or me what gets hurt, not the children. When you become a father, it's the best thing ever in your life you can think of. But when something happens like that to your child, it's ridiculous. Because sooner or later, anyway, it will have to be. Obviously, you end up discussing it with obviously your children. But the worst fear is for me is I don't know if any infection in them children obviously affect their ovaries or could affect their fertility later on in life. So that becomes I don't become a grandfather. Obviously, I want all my kids to have. So I've got 4 kids in total. I want all my kids to have kids. But if people cover up things like that, because there's that many, believe it or not, there's 62 infections in total what children can actually get, which is via an STI. But some of them can be you have no symptoms, and then they find out later in life, especially girls, they can't have children, and it's absolutely fucking horrible for people, really. But for me, I've tried shouting out for help for everyone. That's all social workers, NHS workers, mental health teams, police, crisis teams. And I'm just left on my own to suffer and try and sort something out. Me on my own, it's very difficult to even get any kind of help. You just don't get listened to. Considering I've got ADHD and I'm autistic, so people that do know me, what are actually watching this or watch this in the future, ADHD and I'm autistic. So all the fucking arseholes out there what call me fucking names and take the fucking piss out of the time are the fucking arseholes. So I never knew I was autistic until about a year ago, until I got diagnosed with it. So a very interesting subject, that one. But that's what makes me pick up things what other people don't. So you've got the blind people that wouldn't notice something, like say, a symbol on a piece of paper, but I would. But we're not getting into obviously my problems anyway. This is regarding the children. I don't know how I'm even still alive this year anyway, especially with 5 crashes on the M69, so I wanted to actually fucking die. But if there's any dads out there, and ones I can maybe speak to, or someone I can speak to, who's been in a similar situation where their child's been abused or something, because I know there is people out there who are in a worse situation than me where their child's died and things, but not to have no one to speak to, it's fucking hard work. That's why the police are always at my door. I'm always obviously doing something to get attention or something, I don't know. So I don't like the coppers, because they don't do fucking justice to anyone, do they? But no one should suffer in silence. I suffer in silence. I've done for a year. I watched my 2 children suffer, but they were screaming in the first few months into things. Then they suffered in silence themselves. This is a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. Sometimes life isn't even worth living, I don't think. Being a father's been the hardest thing ever in my life. Trying to protect them, it was just manic. I'm supposed to be protecting my children from falling over or falling off their push bike. I'm supposed to protect my children from a wasp or a bumblebee. not protecting them from fucking child abuse and fucking sexual abuse and beatings from the system and the government is fucking wrong. That's not being a father. And believe it or not, the cutest thing is ever, my daughter thinks I'm Spider-Man. God knows why. It was quite a different one, I suppose. Yeah. I do now, obviously, reading a few research on things. Obviously, some children, they crave for attention, don't they, off obviously certain parents. Obviously, my daughter's all daddy, daddy, daddy. It's always daddy, daddy's Spider-Man. But it's mental, especially when you can actually give your own daughter a cuddle. And I can say, Badman's gone now. And she repeats that back to me on a regular basis. Badman's gone now, daddy. Yeah, I suppose he has gone. But what can you do? Apart from most nights, when I do sleep, sometimes I'm up for about 4 or 5 days, solid. I don't even know how I keep going on. I'm too old for staying up all night. But yeah, sometimes I'll cry, sometimes I'll walk for miles, all sorts. But to remove the pain, I don't even know what to do. But obviously closure has to be sorted. And I don't know how I'm going to get closure, but I will get closure somehow, whether it ends up me dead or in jail. But I'll be doing something. I'm sure I can think of some crazy thing to do in my lifetime.